Good morning, my Sako knots. It's Sako Tumi, also known as Cass Voit, and welcome to the Sunday morning coffee chat. Well, it is surprisingly empty this morning, but that is okay. I will speak to the void. People can watch this in post. Oh, coffee good. Coffee good. Hey, Debbie Renault. Lovely to see you. You working like usual today? Or are you actually taking Sunday off? God forbid. God forbid. Hi, cool gamer. Supportive as ever. Thanks for stopping by. So I have been, I think it's still a new moon, possibly. Where's my phone? Is it still a moon? Or has it transitioned into not a full moon? No, it is still a new moon. Yep. So, took yesterday off. Okay, cool. Good. Taking time off is like part of the process. So, like, remember to take care of yourself. Especially since you have kids and stuff, man. I'm sure time to yourself is in between. It is also the Lunar New Year, so Happy New Year to the people celebrating. Mostly the Chinese culture celebrates the Lunar New Year, so it is the Chinese, also known as the Chinese New Year. Yeah. And so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm trying to take off. But I find that I have been working on other things, like my YouTube videos and stuff, like scripting out YouTube videos. So is that really taking off? I'm not so sure. I am not so sure. But then I get bored, and there is a book that I'm reading. I got to take it in small doses, but like the chapters are nice and short. And there's a point to each chapter, though sometimes there's like a couple of paragraphs that I can easily skip. It doesn't move fast enough for me, but it's going at a good clip. Should probably grow and talk about and raise its benefit. It's like a thriller sort of situation. I got it from Introvert's Retreat, which usually comes with like a candle and a snack of some kind and a book and a bath thing of some sort, like either like a bath bomb or a bottle of salts or something. I kind of want to do it again, but I'm going to read through this book first because I got it through the last Introvert's Retreat that I was subscribed to. And it's a tank. It is a hefty book, even though it's paperback. So I think it's going to take me a while to go through it. Sometimes I read, I'm noticing I'm reading faster these days. And I think that like kind of owing that to the kind of writing that I'm reading. Hey, RC. Do you want to like come drink coffee with me? Or is it too early for you? Death before decaf. I got it at a dollar store like fucking 10 years ago. How you doing, RC? You are definitely being understated today with the Mernin as opposed to I am here. Coffee isn't even made yet. Okay, I get it. Well, how about this? I'm going to send you a link. And if you hop in, then great. But if not, I won't be offended. I'm tired, sore, bleh. You ready to start a live chat? But I already did. This thing where they make an event for your stream is like kind of fucked up because you have to promo the event as opposed to just scrolling and you stumble on the feed like you used to. Yes, I caught your link. That's 1 o'clock my time. I will be there. Hello, Jenny. Good morning. How's life? It's been a while. You been hanging out with Dave? Dave number 2. I just have one more panel and then I'm done for the day. Yay! Is it a complex panel or can you just do like a, heads up shot and call it a day? Only 2 hours. If that. So there will be an hour or two between life is good. Dave took his girls for the weekend fun. Oh, so I'm home today editing and working on relaxing, something I don't get to do much. Well, good. Actual time to yourself, God forbid. You also have the benefit of living by yourself, so like you actually get your alone time. I get a lot of alone time too, even though I live with 2 people. They mostly keep to themselves. Hello, I don't think you have been to my channel before. How's it going? I love your emote. How is it going? I have a witchy diamond painting I've been wanting to do. Ooh, meditative. Nice. Okay. You know what? Whenever you hop in is great. If you don't, I'm not offended. It's all good. Complex due to the amount of characters, but I'm inking today. Oh, okay, good. So it's just kind of like giving personality to your pencils, and they make jokes about just inkers just tracing pencils, but that's not true. They solidify the drawing. Because some people's pencils are messier than others. In a way, I kind of miss it. Like the dopamine hit that you got when a page went up. I think I have, it's my comic scheduled from, I think it goes until mid-March or early March. I got to do like a page at the end going, sorry, that's all there is. But I am working on a graphic novel that has a beginning, middle, and end. So there will be a complete book rather than just an example of my art. Because there was supposed to be 10 chapters to Blood Legacies, to Hotaru, but the project ended when they laid me off. Well, that's not true. They took over the art. The writer took over the art when I was laid off because our main benefactor lost his job in 2020. So basically the audience rebelled. They did not like the change in art. And don't get me wrong, like the art is good. It is. Like she's a vector artist and she's amazing. But the shift in art really upset some people, and we lost a lot of readers. So she got discouraged and she tore it from the internet. Hello, hello! Uploaded my first video on bullying yesterday. Neat. I think today we'll keep it short. Yesterday ended up talking like 45 minutes. I know those feels, especially if you talk about something that you're passionate about and you've got the bullet points so that you know what topic to hit and stuff. Then I'm actually scripting out my videos so that I don't ramble and I have less ums and uhs. "26 pages to cover over 2 weeks. Holy shit. So you are scripting too? 2 weeks worth of videos regarding bullying? Is that what's going on? Hello, Rachel. Just making rounds on my laptop this morning to hug like buttons. Yay! Won't last long. Y'all enjoy your day. Thank you for stopping in, Rachel. It was really good to see you. I hope you have a wonderful day. I need a shirt that says tangents happen. Yeah. Somebody recently tried trolling me. But I'm not just want to back into the shadows. I figure this is the perfect catalyst for important conversation. I think that's a great idea. How did they try to troll you? Like, did they just storm your chat? Is that what happened? Actually getting a human in your chat that is giving you shit? Okay, so two things. One, he is using the internet to be a faceless, anonymous person that can say whatever the fuck they want without any repercussion, or so they think, right? And what makes men think that they can talk to women like that? Because I suspect that that was a male troll, because it is very rare when a female troll calls other women too fat to do something. Comment. Oh. As if I give a shit if a stranger on the internet thinks I'm too fat for anything. I know, right? I've been pulled in saying since I think it means I've been pole dancing. Pulled in saying since 2008. I'm certainly not going to stop because it doesn't please some of males' fantasy of a pole dancer. Yeah. I have to grieve. A coffee creates. Why would you give a shit if someone thinks you're ugly or fat? On the interest, I couldn't care less. Indeed, Jordan. It is an opinion, and it's like they're like assholes. Everyone's got one. Keyboard warrior, yeah. Clearly, I don't care because I'm going to continue doing what I've always done, which is pole dancing. But I do care because this kind of landed on someone else's page. Oh, someone not as strong. I care because people end their lives every day because of bullying. Yeah. I wonder why other people don't care. Because they think that there are no repercussions for their, like, if someone ends their life over bullying, like, sometimes that'll wake a person up, but most of the time, like, they can be in denial of that their words had any impact on someone. Autocorrect. Oh my god. Yeah. Are you on your phone? Oh, sorry. Bullying when I was a kid was weird. I did whatever I could to be accepted by the bullies. And then I stopped caring what they thought when I was in 8th grade. I stopped caring what people thought of me. And I started doing what I thought was cool and what I thought was, the way to live. I haven't given a shit what people thought since. I was a people pleaser, though, up until my mid-20s. I had a hard time saying no to, like, events and being there for people, and I was, like, double and triple booking myself with people, and I was stressing out about it. And I was in a grocery store, when I realized I'm not going to do any of those things. I'm going to take care of myself. I need to not go out this weekend. Like, I personally don't care. I'm almost 44 years old. Also, you're amazing. You're so young looking. Holy shit. The only person whose opinion matters to me is my husband. Yeah, ditto. But I do care of that this person thinks it's okay to go around and disrespect someone. Not just anyone, right? Not just anyone. You are a woman who has taken charge of her femininity. And you represent that in your dance. And some people don't like that, they have this preconceived notion as to who can belly dance or who can pole dance, who can dance ballet, and it's toxic. It's a toxic mentality. They don't even know. For all this person knows, I'm in a very bad place mentally, and this could have put me over the edge. Yeah. Bullying doesn't come without consequences. Like, I definitely do my own thing. I constantly post photos and videos of myself, and I say whatever I want. Good on you. But I don't go around hurting other people, and I will stand up for those not strong enough. Good on you. To stand up for themselves. Anyone interested in go check out the video? I will. Do you have a wrench? So you can post it? I can try to give you a wrench. You do have a wrench. Okay. So you can post a link to it if you feel up for that. I stopped caring what bullies thought when I was in grade school. I don't remember exactly when. I was the new kid at a new school throughout my entire childhood. We moved once a year, and it was all in the same area, but we moved once a year, and I went to a different school every year. So I had to basically be the new kid. So did my sister. My sister rebelled. She, people didn't like her, and she didn't give a shit. She never gave a shit. She defended herself, as best she could, and that was profound. The crazy part is I looked at his profile, and his wife has a very similar body type to mine. Really interesting. Ooh. You do. I will link it. Cool. So if you haven't seen this video, here is the link. You can read the comments yourself. And I hope you didn't comment back, because that just adds fuel to the fire. They get all riled up, and yeah. I'm the same. I will go around saying I want to say what I want to say and not be afraid to say. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you give me the right to disrespect people and treat them like trash. I used to be so hurt by what people said, and then I realized the only reason you were disrespecting strangers is because you have your own issues, and they're projecting. For sure. Also, I don't know why I continue to use talk to text, knowing autocorrect is going to completely fuck it up. But I gather what it is that you're trying to say. Because I use voice to text as well, and I try to speak clearly, but sometimes Sometimes it'll detect the right word first, and then it'll autocorrect to the wrong word. So it is. Oh, I said maybe you're a weak little pole, couldn't handle all this, but mine has had no problem for 14 years. And I said, feel free to continue watching my videos. That really pissed him off. Yeah. You know, you interacted with my video. It helps the algorithm. Thank you very much. You know, Lauren and Nicole Weekly. Yeah. They're also authors, and they're both blind. Yeah. Authors. Yeah. And they're both blind and visually impaired. Just curious because all of you guys live in the same area. Oh, do we? Where are Lauren and Nicole? Or do you mean like we're in the same arena when it comes to bullies and stuff? That's when he got pissed off and called me pig vomit. What a stupid thing to say. But he hasn't said a word since. Yep. And I'm not removing the comment since he seems to be proud of it. I was picked on for my stutter and a scar on my chin that I got from an abusive mother. It didn't help being the shortest in the class. I, too, was the shortest in the class. I am still the shortest in the class. If we're being quite honest, I'm 5 foot even. Some people just have so much negativity and hate in their heart, they can't seem to help themselves and spew it all over everyone else. Yep. That is a doozy. There just comes a time when you stop caring. It's interesting because this new generation, like, it tips them over the edge and actually convinces them to, like, you know, end it all over a bully. And in the 90s, like, that was so rare. You just grew a thicker skin, you know what I mean? It's why I got a tough skin dealing with their shit year after year. And Debbie, you're like my age, aren't you? Were you in grade school in the 80s? I'm assuming that you guys live in the same area because Jenna from the Janet, the Soul Writer. Oh, Jenna, the Soul Writer. She had moved, and I believe it's the same area in Maryland. Yes. I'm not in Maryland, but I am like an hour and a half away. That's the thing. We never know what someone is dealing with. Yep. For all you know, someone just lost a loved one or has a mental health issue. For sure. And to play into it is fucked up. Like, the world is cruel enough. There's no need to add to that, especially when it is someone you don't even know who's never done anything to you. Yeah. For real. Okay, you're 34. All right. I've got 6 years on you. But you were a kid in the 90s, right? So, like, culture was different then. Like, social media wasn't quite a thing yet, and like, we could go home and kind of, like, you know, decompress from the bullying we suffered during the day, whereas this generation can't escape it. But there is, like, evidence of bullying on social media, so, like, you know, the law can actually take put responsibility on the bully. Yo! Yo!
It is the Sabbath, and I have risen. Bear witness, Sako.
Yo, what's up?
Nothing much. Just still coming over the shock of overwork. You saw my hours this week. Pulled another 8 yesterday, and pretty much laid in bed the rest of the night.
Oh, hold on.
Also, hello.
I had a stream open. Sorry.
Shannon!
Hi, Shannon. We'll be lurking. Okay, no problem. It's just a chat today.
Lurk on, yo.
We're talking about bullying. That's one of the things I mentioned in my video is today's kids can't even get away from it because the bullying doesn't stop when they go home. It's online and forever. Right. But this generation's kids are more likely to just avoid social media and live life like we did in the 90s, you know?
Well,
in the 90s, I was on the internet, so...
my attitude was, if they don't live close enough for me to go to their house and beat their ass, I'm going to ignore it.
Once a comment or video or whatever is up on the internet, it doesn't just go away. Truth. It's just sad to think of, especially young people being tormented by bullies. Yeah. Hi, Natalie. It is such a long time since I've seen you. How the heck are you? Wie geht es Ihnen? Wie geht's dir?
I am here.
Yes.
Kinda.
I agree we shouldn't break people down all the time because it doesn't help them. And perhaps you need the compassion and the motivation to fight the haters. Sometimes it helps to kind of like talk to them in a way that really cuts them to the core.
I think a lot of people are good at tearing others down, but they never want to show them or help them find a way to, reconstruct. It's like we can tell someone they're a piece of shit all they want to, but we never want to help them find a way to unshit themselves. To like find better ways of, using their energy, whatever anger is motivating them, or whatever loneliness, whatever it is that, like with kids, it's usually shit at home that, fires them into the classroom wanting to bully other kids.
Right. Hey Shannon, I commented on your video today. I heard you saw my comments. And hope you complete your goals for 2023. Hi Shannon. Yo, what's up? Absolutely, Jordan. I know how much I wish someone had stood up for me when I was young and being bullied, so I am fiercely protective of others right now. I didn't have anyone standing up for me. I stood up for myself, as did my sister.
See, I had to learn that shit because elementary school was I went to a predominantly black school, and
yeah, me too.
And this was the 90s, and this is when you started to see in the media the fanning of tension. I mean, yeah, there's some bullshit in the world, but when you have people just like egging that on and trying to just sow resentment in people's hearts, it worked. I was getting in fights every week, jumped in the bathroom, followed home, but like I get older after a while, that wears off and you start just, hanging out with you folks and all that. But yeah, you either stand up for yourself or you're gonna be getting your ass kicked every day because it ain't no, we'll just leave them alone eventually. If anyone's got an easy target, this is any ethnicity, by the way. If they got an easy target, quick exercise. Whack, he's down. All right, on the next one.
Well, there are two ways of handling it. I manipulated them into liking me. My sister fought them and won. And my sister was a slight child, so she looked like an easy target, but she had nails that were 2 inches long and black. So there was this. So we went to school in Southeast DC one year, and it was a predominantly black school, and they made her life miserable. We were staying at a friend of my dad's house while we were like in transition, and we were on a bunk bed. My sister tumbles off, breaks her collarbone, and so she goes to school with a sling on, and this 13-year-old kid who is still in third grade, like, fucking came and clapped her on the shoulder every week. So she's got this huge bump on her collarbone because it would like unset like every week. So she would have to go in and have it reset like every fucking week. So once she healed, she went after him with her nails and really fucked his face up. And he was super nice to her after that.
Good. It's funny you mentioned, you know, fighting, and you were more the talker. My parents got divorced when I was about, I don't know, 12, 13. And my mom, freshly divorced single mother, got more government assistance, and she got us out of the suburbs for a couple of years. So I go from a predominantly black school to a predominantly white junior high school with a big chip on my shoulder. This is like, you know, from the south side out to the south burbs. And first kid to,
thing.
and you know, they had their own different hierarchy there. And I just remember like the first day, or actually the second day, I'm in my locker, and this kid like walks by, like kind of checks me into my locker with his shoulder and keeps going, just kind of, you know, casual. Later on in the day, I saw him in his locker. I slid up beside him, grabbed the side of the door, and slammed it against the side of his fucking face. He collapsed like a sack of potatoes. He was like, "What's your problem?" Like, asshole, you hit me. And, you know, it was like this big thing. Like, well, why'd you hit him? You know, he was just nudging you. Why are you acting like a psycho? This isn't, you know, the South Side. Like, he does it again, I'm going to do the same shit. Just letting you know. But that's when I learned how you have to be a little more diplomatic with people.
Like, I did the same thing in middle school. Like, I was super paranoid, and there was this kid who kind of harassed me, I think because he liked me, because sometimes he was real nice and then sometimes he was a real asshole. And I can't stand being tickled. Like, it is not fun for me. It is not haha, laugh. I fucking hate it. And so I'm at my locker, and he comes up behind me and gitchies me. And I spin with a spinning back fist, and I knock him the fuck out. And they called in a mediator and set us in 2 rooms, and he apologized and said, "No, I brought it on myself. I really did." And we agreed to not fuck with each other ever again, and that was that.
Does anybody like being tickled? It like expose you at your most vulnerable areas. I couldn't imagine anyone like it. I mean, yeah, it's probably the feeling or whatever. At the same time, someone's constantly doing it. No.
Yeah. Mother hearing the torment in her voice, talking about how her daughter and her own life after being bullied. That's terrible. I'm not going to bury my head in the sand just because it doesn't affect me directly. Agreed.
At the same time, you know, people have to realize they have control over so much in the world, but most importantly, however they react to it, because that does start its own chain of events there. And not to mention, like, we're talking about online stuff, you know, being bullied and all that shit, you know, I don't know. I mean, maybe if like people just got off the internet and didn't put so much energy to that, they wouldn't be so unhappy all the time. Like, all right, screw that asshole. He's in a different state or a country. Sign off. Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. Yeah. I did have a troll that tracked me down on all my social media, and like had this just talking trash on all my social media. So I would block him on each thing, and then he'd find me somewhere else. And then he was basically like, see, you kind of draw okay, but you can't even give it away for free. And I was like, and I think I eventually blocked him on everything. He even went on my LJ, and which was like a private journal, and also me like 15 fucking years ago, and because I haven't been on LJ and since the Russians took it over.
Does say it's still a thing?
Yeah. No gay like fic and or talking about like sex or anything like that. You can't. There are certain topics you can't touch.
What?
They ban you. Yeah.
Wow.
By Russian law. The blunt. I did see them this morning. I took yesterday off from the PC, getting prepared right now for Nia's channel later. Nice.
Everyone's streaming today.
I want to get on Nia's stream at some point. Like, she's just the greatest. I love her. Doing scripting the book for House of the Dragon. Ooh. How are you? Just trying to get some things thrown into the crock pot and the house picked up early. Maybe get some writing time in. Natalie was bullied as a kid. The worst event of back then still haunts me. It's the day when the bullies almost succeeded in pushing me into oncoming traffic. Someone saved me from it. I stepped out into traffic, and then I had a friend pull me out.
I was hit by a car. No one pulled me.
I was run over.
But it was on my own stupid fault. I was 17. I was crossing the street, leaving school, looking for my cigarettes in my pocket because I used to smoke back then. The driver wasn't looking. I wasn't looking. I went over the car onto the curb. Just some stitches. I
went under the car, but I didn't. I had some bruising, but I didn't, like, nothing was broken. I was fine.
I sliced the corner of my left eye. That's it.
Ooh.
Still got a scar.
I speak up when I see bullying happen. Me too. Like, hey, you're being an asshole. I thought better of you. How disgusting. And that disapproval, like, a lot of times will make them sit like, meh. And they will make an attempt to impress me after that.
But then you have those that are in perpetual victim mode and don't even see their own bullying nature.
Yes. And usually the ones that try to impress me after that are the ones who fall into that category.
Yeah. Because, like, they come out swinging, but the moment you stand up to them, they, it's like porcelain, just shatters.
It shatters. It depends on how you stand up to them. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of like do the mean girl thing, and because I am kind of like super Buddhist, like very calm and quiet, and I am unassuming to a lot of people. And so when I have judgment, like, people fucking listen. Like, for a quick tickle, fine, but don't keep at it. I'm going to end up kicking you. Yeah, me too. Watching TED Talks. There was a mother talking about her daughter ending her own life at only 16 because of bullying. Broke my heart to listen to. Yeah, that's fucking terrible. I know at 16 I was fragile. Like I was a fighter and I fought Marines. Like I sparred against Marines in martial arts. And like but like mentally I was extremely fragile.
I was a lunatic.
I was too.
But when it comes to like back then, I think a lot of young people, like teenagers and all that, don't grasp the concept of how temporary that situation is. And even adults, like they'll be in a situation thinking it's like, you know, the be all end all. It's going to last forever. This is going to impact you the rest of your existence.
Yep. This too shall pass. And this is a good point. Like, it happens in schools, at work, at home. I mean, you can't just run away. You can't avoid it, right? So the idea of avoiding it is avoiding social media. And this, so the struggle this generation has is I want to keep contact with the people I give a shit about, but sometimes the people I give a shit about are assholes.
Yeah. I think with like bullies online, this is so much like avoiding social media as it is don't give energy to those people. I mean, it's like Freddy Krueger. Don't feed your fear into him. That's what gives him strength. Don't feed the trolls.
Don't feed the trolls.
Fuck them. You know, ignore them. That or I lapse into nowadays. Back in the day, I would just come at them with the most incisive, dark, literate shit I can come up with. And
Right.
nowadays, I just go along with like, oh, that's awesome, really.
Thank you. Yeah.
Like, yeah, that story sucked too, but hey, I'll try better next time. You bought it, so whatever. I win.
You know what? Yeah. Yeah. Should I have a troll come on my social media? I am basically like, thank you for appeasing the algorithm. You still interacted with my shit. Like, and I just benefit. So
I would take that a step farther. I would have in one of my streams air out their grievance, try to monetize their ass.
And again, not everyone is the same mental state that you or I am. Yeah. There are plenty of people who feel broken over bullying, and remember, a lot of times it's kids who don't have the same mental capacity that you or I do. And the thing is like, bullying was different when I was a kid.
More physical.
It was. Well, no, it was mental manipulation. It was. But like, and that's the thing. Like, they tried to manipulate me, and I ended up manipulating them, which is how I was accepted by the cool kids who beat up on the lobies. But I stood up for the lobies.
Yeah, I was for me, at least when I first moved out of the suburbs, it wasn't so much like the physical. It was more like they would tease you to get a reaction, and when you get caught retaliating, oh, I didn't do anything. I don't know what the psycho's problem is. That's when I kind of had to learn how to check my anger and be more diplomatic, or just ignore them.
Oh, in middle school, I wanted to fight so bad.
Yeah,
but everyone was scared of me. I was like, I dared you to fight me. I want to fight.
Same here. Like all these kids walk around with Abercrombie and Fitch and Tommy Hilfiger, and I got a skull shirt on, all black. Like, say something to me.
Mm-hmm. I wore 9-inch nails shirts and that were oversized, and my dad's BDUs.
In eighth grade, I tried to show up to school with a T-shirt of the cover of Cannibal Corpse Butchered at Birth album. I lasted about 30 minutes before they made me turn that shit inside out.
That's hilarious. They would have sent me home. 20 books conference. Oh, I had a lady talk trash to me about me everywhere. Didn't see it all until I came back. I blocked her everywhere too. What the fuck? You are a goddamn saint. I don't understand what they could target. Like, there's no dirt. There's no dirt.
That's how people are, though. I mean, like, you know the Sako sisters,
bad.
right? They're the Sako sisters,
I know
directors.
of them.
They're like the nicest, coolest fucking people in the world. Like, I'm not a people person. I'm turned off by most people. So, like, when I'm around somebody and they attract me, like, wow, these guys are out. Like, that's something special in me. And they get bullied left and right by people that, like, you'd think they were terrorists or something. I guess some people just hate the light, so they got to find ways to make it darker.
Hi, Laura.
Laura.
We're talking about bullying and standing up for yourself and standing up for others and kind of figuring out who we are, when we figured out who we are, and when we stopped caring what other people thought. But there are some people who will always care. I don't know, but I have pretty thick skin, as every aspect of my childhood included bullying and being beat up all the time at school. My brother, my dad, and me too. My dad was abusive. He was a drill sergeant that brought his work home. Both my parents were in the Army, and they treated me like I was in the Army.
My dad was in the Army. I get
it. There came a point where there didn't need to be a trigger. Like, I didn't fucking do anything wrong, and my dad would lash out at me. And my mom saw blood, and my mom finally stood up for me.
Was he ever in, like, combat or just basic training?
Yeah. Yeah, he was in combat. He was in Korea for 4 years.
Yeah, my one friend, he's a little bit older, but his dad was in World War II, and he would tell me stories about, like, the way he would act. And, like, this was, like, back before, like, PTSD was even really thought of. It was just, like, shell shock. Oh, pull yourself together, be a man. But yeah, like, oh man, just going through that shit. What that see, like, talking about the psychological effects of bullying and worse, just violence in general, and what it creates, what it turns people into.
Yeah.
Violence begets violence.
Fighting fire with fire usually ends in destruction, no matter how you slice it. Like, it's gotta be so severe that you, like, I might be going down, but I'm gonna fucking take you with me.
Mutually assured destruction.
Well, like, I will self-destruct, and I'm like, yeah. if I'm gonna get dragged through the dirt, I'm taking you with me. And
I've had people.
So yeah. I did that with Cole. No, not Nicole. I did that with Lauren. Lauren didn't like that I was talking about magic and not in the Wiccan concept of magic. It's like, she's not even Wiccan. Why the hell is everyone asking her questions, and why are they listening to her? And I was like, really? But now we're, like, civil. It's been years, right? But, like, I did a stream where I was raising money for my mom's cancer treatments, and she donated money and asked for a commission and supported me in a way that she had not done previous.
Well, maybe she came
So
to the realization that it's your channel. You can do what you want.
I also made a channel specifically for my witchy stuff. I'm not showing witchy stuff on this channel. So I don't know if she has like seen that channel. Well, I'm still talking about witchy shit. I'm still doing that. I'm just not doing it on my main channel anymore.
Stuff I've had an interest in, but it seems like from the outside so like vast. Kind of like getting into gaming or anime for the first time. You don't know where to start, what's the right way in, the right kind of introduction. Well, for me, I started with the Kabbalah, Tree of Life, stuff like that. I don't know if that was the right way, but yeah.
No, it's a good place to start.
Damn.
That's rough. Yeah.
People
who are bullies need to realize what they do is wrong, or you cannot help them change their behavior. Right. Well, and that's my tactic, right? Is point out that their behavior is unacceptable. And in general, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't know you were done. I was gonna say, like, when it comes to people like that, what cycles are they in? What are their cycles of violence? What started it, and how do you break them out of it? Because most people think they're the good guys in their story, no matter how terrible they are, because they don't see like
they're always going to think they're the hero. Yeah.
Yeah, like they can justify in their own minds their actions. They still think that some way they're right, even if not, like ends justify the means. And the thing about you gotta like talk to them, get into their story, pull them back to see what caused whatever pain or anger or loneliness and all that, and just keep coming back, and it starts flattening out more, and you realize that most of what you're seeing from that person is just from their own experience. And maybe that's how they feel about themselves. They're beating on you because they hate themselves.
Hold on. I gotta find the other half.
Well, hi, Eva.
Oh, wow. 5-year-old having trouble with bullies. Or at least being made aware of bullies. I find that bullying gets its worst right around puberty. Like the testosterone like peaks and the estrogen peaks, and like everybody gets bitchy. That's what I mean. Sometimes you can just ignore it, but not always. And sometimes the consequences run quite deep in our irreversible. Irreversible. I'll just say that everyone has their own choice of what to do with your time and energy. Here.
Mm-hmm.
I choose to use mine to help others the way I wish someone would have helped me. Yeah, I agree.
With young kids bullying and all that, my theory is with parents, it's lack of discipline. Either the parents are overworked, they can't notice what their kids are doing, or they're too busy on their own devices to pay attention to them. No, stop doing that, Mikey. I'm watching Twitter. That kind of stuff. Lack of discipline, lack of supervision.
Mm-hmm. Some people never grow out of it, and even worse, they pass it on to their kids.
Yep.
Kids learn how to bully. Like, they pick that behavior up from someone, and it's usually a parent or an aunt or uncle, someone close to the kid who sets an example, and the bully just thinks like having power over someone is beneficial. But it is to be here. Like, I just read a thing from the author of The Princess in Black. She's got a new series coming out that is like also princess themed, and the girls are ecstatic, and the boys are like, because fuck having a girl as the hero. Like, I can't, you know, commiserate with a girl being the hero. And then she would do a reading of The Princess Black, and boys would be like, you have any more copies of Princess in Black? Like, so he had, like, these boys had been trained to look down upon girls, and all of a sudden they could suddenly commiserate, and they were curious. They wanted to learn.
I never understood that. Maybe it's just my own brain or whatever, being in the 80s and 90s, because, you know, I mean, I like my boy stuff. At the same time, you know, She-Ra was cool, Red Sonja was cool, like Ripley from Aliens. You know, like I never like really thought about
You had role models that, like, you know, badass women, and yeah, I get it.
Yeah, or like even video games, Katana, Melina, those were the shit. I would play them. I didn't care. That or Scorpion. Then of course all the, you know, kung fu movies I grew up on. Had some badass ladies in there.
Yes, for sure.
Speaking of, before I forget,
stories of how I dealt. I have stories of how I dealt with bullies on my street. I was a teenager, and there was this kid, Cleveland. I called him Cleavage because he was an asshole. And I'm rollerblading with my friends after school. There's still snow on the ground, but it's thing. And he comes up behind me with a big stick and sweeps my blades out from underneath me.
What?
I was like eyeballs deep in martial arts training, so I knew how to fall on the asphalt so that I wouldn't get hurt. And I was pissed. So I took and I'm hard to piss off, right? So I took off my blades and I ran him down, and I beat the living shit out of him. And he went to his dad and was like, you know, she beat me up. And dad was like, good on her. Good for her. You know, you shouldn't have been doing that shit anyway. And I basically told him, if you ever come after me or my sister again, it's going to be worse. And he never came at me. He was real nice after that.
Wow. With me, it was more of like either one-on-one or you get jumped and you try to find them later and jump them individually. That was street life. Or find a way to get along.
Usually there is, like, it is taught behavior. Like, they lashed out because they had been the target of someone else lashing out. They were trying to bully me into lying in court. Jesus Christ, Shannon.
Ugh. Family.
Cutting off those who society has taught us should be unconditionally loved is very hard. Yeah. And so very necessary. Hugs to you. Yeah. I cut out toxic people in my life all the time.
It's like entitlement. Family entitlement, you know, just because you've got blood ties, things like you automatically earned respect. And a lot of the times people who say that are the ones that don't give it back. They just demand it from everybody. But yeah, family sucks.
I like that the woman who bullied me for like she treated me like second citizen, sort of second world citizen. Like she gave me shit for having more than one significant other. She gave me shit for living with my dad during the recession. She gave me shit for like being an artist instead of being a doctor. You know, like she just hated me. She just hated me. So, when I got married, she tried to be super nice and still give me shit over my dad. And then I had a stroke. And she sent me a nice letter basically saying it runs in your family and I hope you recover, and like super nice. And now she's dead. So the hatred she had, like these preconceived notions of like who I should have been, like were suddenly turned around because I experienced something that, you know. However, that stroke was like I had the Buddhist community reached out and were like, you had a stroke because you don't chant enough.
Wow.
And I was like, that is fucked up. And I'm not going to practice with you people while you are acting like that around me. I will practice at home by myself. And
Now,
I talked to the higher ups. I talked to the higher ups, and they're like, I'm so sorry that happened. And like, we will hold those people accountable and stuff like that. But whatever.
see, what kind of shit is that? I know people should try to find, like, something happens to a person, you should always try to find, like, how you got yourself in this situation. But at the same time, not everything is your fault, especially a fucking stroke. I mean, wow. I like religious people are the same way. Like,
it's
you
not
should
my
have prayed
fucking
enough.
fault.
Yeah, you should have been with Jesus. You know, that kind of stuff. Religious family, same thing. Oh, you didn't pray hard enough, or you know, you should have been closer to the Lord. You know, whatever.
You didn't pray hard enough. Exactly.
You should have went to church more. You should have donated more.
Sure woulda, coulda, motherfucker. I forgot about puberty. Just being a girl with boobs was reason enough to be a target. Yeah, sexually targeted bullying from the males. Yeah, me too. I read an excerpt from Bert Hellinger about being the black sheep, the cycle breaker. Do recommend. I found it after seeing a reel about it and called his name in Black Sheep. Oh, cool. One of my elementary school bullies got kicked out of high school for drug dealing. His home life must have been terrible. Yeah. My first significant other, the first guy who planned a future with me and proposed and all of that jazz, because in Virginia you can be a teenager and get married. And he was a drug dealer. And I basically was like, you can deal weed, like that's fine, but like this other stuff, like the heroin and the meth and all of that, no. And he did something that like tried to tarnish my reputation. And a mutual friend came to me and was like, do you know what he's saying about you? And I'm like, no. So we broke up soon after that. Like, it was
it's the drug dealing thing is a dangerous business. Yeah, weed, all that is one thing, but you start getting into the more stronger drugs, more money attracts more problems, and you start dealing coke and heroin. You better get something to protect yourself while you're at it, especially if you're on a big city in the streets. You know. competitions out there, and they will come for you, and whoever's in the house with you.
And whoever's in the house with you, yeah. Abused by her first husband. My grandmother was abused by my grandfather, and my father got beat up trying to protect her. That's really tragic. I just know I absolutely cannot and will not stand by and watch somebody be bullied, not on my watch. My whips focuses on the generational trauma. Yeah, I'm not sure a reader would notice that unless they were already thinking about it, but that's what's being written. I think because trauma can imprint on your DNA. I've been reading, like, medical journals and shit about, like, mental illness for one, and then trauma changing your DNA, and that being transferable to your kids.
If there's a name for that, especially like the psychological point of it, like, inheriting like certain demeanors and attitudes, and I guess chemical imbalances, things like that. I had it written down and I fucking threw it away. There's a certain phrase for it. I can't remember it, but yeah, that's true. Because what are we other than just echoes through a distant time? Just constant regenerating fungus.
So I found out that, I'm half Japanese. Like, suicidal tendencies are hereditary. My sister has it. I have it. My brother had it, but he succeeded. Like, it's a thing.
Why is that? At least for Chinese genetics.
Huh?
Suicidal. Didn't you say, like, you're talking about genetics? You said suicidal tendencies. Does that have something to do with the genetics, or where does that come from?
The Japanese, like, number one cause of death is suicide. So I'm not surprised that it runs in my family. Lessons from the behavior, yeah. Truth, all relationships are a constant negotiation. Absolutely.
Yep.
Even the relationships we have with ourselves. Most especially. Most things are out of our control. You would be surprised at what is in your control.
What is in control is how you react to things, and that
Yes.
affects your mood, your attitude, and how you treat people.
Mm-hmm. My dad was beaten and bullied by his dad, which got passed on, but I have this 9-year-old who just this last week started exhibiting bullying tendencies, behavior at school. We, the hubby, I, and therapist, think it's because he wants to fit in and is following some fierce behavior. Yeah. Of course, we're doing what we can to stop it, but in not violent ways. Yeah. 8-week leadership course in the Army. The ranger said to me that I need to get out of the military and go back to the kitchen. I told him I felt sorry for his wife. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a call for help that he doesn't know how to express. I'm glad you're involved in Concern Shannon. Yeah. That in itself is the powerful thing to help him change his methods. Absolutely. It is common for it to stem from home, but that's not always the case. It can be anything from trying to fit into health issues. And, or you can be, mental health issues can arise because of environmental concerns. be a product of your environment.
Yep.
I have a dear friend whose parents are extremely toxic, and he's taking care of them right now, and like he needs to get out of that house. The house is so full of toxicity that I can't be in it. It's so dark. It's so antagonistic.
As people get stuck in their own loops of toxic behavior, some people, whether it's just out of the comfort of familiarity or some kind of codependency, they get their own loops of accepting the toxic or the toxicity, and it becomes almost like a symbiotic thing itself. It's weird.
Yep.
Humans are weird.
Yeah, it's not a good example to have, and just show him that it's not the right way. I was put into martial arts training very young, and they kind of teach you discipline and when to use those skills and when not to use those skills. And like it was good upbringing, I think.
I had street fighting and boxing, some wrestling, but it was more of like not as disciplined as in get them before they get to you, or if someone's running up, you better start swinging, that kind of thing.
For sure.
But we mentioned,
but also why I reasoned with my bullies instead of fighting them.
Right. We talk about the after effects of bullying, but it seems like society never wants to get to the cause of what caused a person to become a bully. It's like there's not enough energy on that. It's more of just like, oh, we need to stop this, but it ends at that. Whether a kid goes to a school, beats up somebody, or commits something worse, they want to blame somebody instead of trying to find a solution. If that makes any sense.
Right back to me, yeah. Impacting nature and nurture, for sure. And yeah.
Yep.
Now that Grandpa Narc is dead, I'm making great strides in healing family trauma and improving communication. Legit apologies are happening. That's amazing, Tani.
Yes.
That is. And you know what? Like, sometimes that person, especially if they're of the greater generation and they're fucking toxic, which is half the reason why they're toxic, is because they're of that generation. Like, I feel like they have to die in order for you to get closure.
Tell us how you really feel.
Happily married 3 years this year. Nice. Also, your ex-husband is an asshole.
What an ego! You're not gonna find anyone better than me.
The best revenge is success. Right? So you're 3 years into a wonderful marriage, right? He can eat a nut. Like, to hell with him. If you or someone you know is struggling with lots of self-unaliving, please call 988. Also, respond, not react. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, ourselves. We bully the shit out of ourselves. At least I do. I'm really hard on myself.
I am super hard on myself. I am. it's mostly like toxic productivity, that I fucked up on myself.
I think with me, it's more of like I said before about, people doing things to you, and when you react, it's more of like, hey, what's your problem? Why are you doing that? Like making you feel like you're in the wrong. So you're constantly questioning yourself, that kind of thing.
This is attention seeking. Are you serious? Not like venting or like, what's the word I'm looking for? Expressionism, like to take those emotions and put it in your writing. Like, it is so selfish to think of that as attention seeking. Super selfish.
It's still not. Well, I told my mom she hates horror, and when I first told her I'm a horror writer, I was like, "There's enough ugliness and evil in this world. You want to create more of it?" Yes.
Not looking for attention. Yeah. Looking for attention doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you human. Yeah. Or is she paying attention? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was in my 20s when I stopped putting up with toxicity.
It makes you wonder.
Actually, now that I think about it.
It makes you wonder how much of the people we know is what they are, or is it what we just made up in our heads for them to be, the way we perceive them? Until you realize, like, all of a sudden those like little strands of blindfold start getting pulled away until you realize, damn, I was wrong about them. Or they changed. Either one.
It could be envy. Nothing of what she said shows an ounce of being proud of me. Yeah, for sure. People envy me for being an artist and being able to pursue my artistic endeavors like people in their jobs, but they're doing something that they hate and I'm doing something that I love, and people judge me for that.
I hope nobody envies me.
But a lot of times they'll admit they envy me.
I envy you, Sako.
Getting success revenge. Yeah, exactly. I don't think she knows how to be impressed. Yeah. She's too self-absorbed. She's what would happen if Amber Heard and Meghan Markle would have had a kid together.
Wow.
My stuff jumped, sorry. Trying to beat the cycle can bring its own trauma. Because of mine, I cannot see myself ever hurting a child. Yeah, my sister is the same. She had to excuse herself from the room and go cool off, and then she could talk with reason to her child. Because the flash rage is something that is also in my family. I learned how to cope with it. I learned how to divert the anger into something constructive. But, like, she is trying to break the trauma cycle. but she's making a whole new monster because she's got issues with her mom having fibro and having blackouts, and like, what do I do if mom passes out and hits her head? Like, blowing it, dad. And dad will decide whether or not to call 911. Which brought on the worst asthma attack I had in years. I bawled for hours. Oh.
Damn.
Oh, there was this one incident in which my husband strongly felt that our son should be spanked. He accidentally hurt a teacher. She went to the hospital when he was angry. Holy shit. And I was the one picking him up from school. I just couldn't. Yeah. That's terrible. What a horrible situation to be.
Shannon.
Oh my God. Hard place to be. It's okay to want to always be a safe place for your child. You're a wonderful mother.
Okay. You rock, Shannon.
You rock, Shannon. I think I am proud of you for sticking to your guns, even if it was traumatic to even think about doing something like that to your child. She said, I'm supposedly only writing because I want to have all the attention. So who cares? I'm frankly clueless what she meant, as she never explained what she meant. So the fact that you are an author and a prolific attracts attention, at least her attention. So she's gonna guess that, like, oh, you get all of my attention, which means you must be getting all of the attention of the people around you. And that's very selfish to think that everyone is going to think the way you do, you know?
But we do live in a really isolated, society where self-absorption is kind of like, fed into us. I've kind of noticed that recently, no matter
The
like,
last couple
we're
of
so
years,
stuck in our
yeah,
world. Yeah. And like,
but
that's one thing
everybody's been doing like introspection and shadow work during these last 3 years. Like,
yeah, but with that's definitely a projection of the lack of attention.
that is profound. Yeah. And you have a lot to be proud of. Okay, see you later, coffee.
Laters.
Take care.
I'd say we all do. We're all accomplished here in our own rights. We're artists, we're writers, YouTubers. We've all been through some shit. That's, I guess, we've all had our cycles. And this is, I guess, our way of commiserating. A lot of things people aren't doing nowadays. People aren't even talking about their own cycles. They didn't even know they're in a cycle. It's just a constant loop every day.
Is a cycle.
Yeah,
Everything.
that's existence right there. It's a loop, an echo.
And that's the thing, right? So I am of the mind that everything works in a cycle. Karma works in a cycle.
Yep.
And like, my life is going surprisingly well right now, and I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, I'm expecting something terrible to happen because things have been going so well this for the last like 3 months or so. It's been quite lovely. Primary school, when I punched this guy in the face, and we became friends afterwards. Yeah, says I'm smarter than him because I can create whole worlds in my head. You are creative, and you can verbalize that, or at least write it down, right? You can put it in words how you view the world, and not everybody has that skill.
Not only that, but the capacity to expand upon it, create a galaxy, create a universe, create multiple universes. We all have that ability with our own consciousness, as above, so below.
Yeah. Yes, the anger of a child must be met with calm by the grown up.
But firm. Personally, firm.
It took years for my brother-in-law to not be wrapped around his daughter's favorite. And like he's actually standing up for himself and like not giving her everything she wants. She's learning how to be self-sufficient, but because she's like 9 years old, right? So she's got to be able to entertain herself at some juncture. But she was getting spoiled. And being able to tell your child no takes strength.
Was the mom around? Was there a divorce or?
No, mom is still there, but mom is sick. Mom has fibro and has blackouts.
Oh.
So so brother-in-law is basically a full-time caretaker, and he has to do all. He won't let her cook. He won't let her drive. He won't let her, like smoking cigarettes is like super dicey because if she cracks her head on the asphalt, like he's gonna take responsibility for that. I am not my productivity. That is a affirmation that I use so much. I laugh at her attitude. In fact, she's behaving in the way she claims I behave, which what she calls attention seeking, and also claiming that I blame people. I think she is projecting.
Yes. I would concur.
I'm so grossed out by this. He won't let her. Because the last time she cooked, she blacked out and she cracked her head on a cabinet. And actually got hurt. So she's no longer allowed to cook. All means she could black out at any moment, which means she is not safe to drive. Do you say should have strength to say no to your child? I don't agree on spoiling them. It doesn't help them grow. Yeah. My partner suggested if I end up famous that to look at stuff as a little too late, as too little too late, than if my sister becomes super friendly. Yeah. And yes, she's predicting.
Yeah. You see that so often too, like
with
people that hate you on the rise up, and all of a sudden you make, and it's like, oh, I've always been down with you. What you talking about? Like I see that all the time in local music scenes. You see a band coming up, like I remember when Disturbed was coming up, people were talking mad shit about them around Chicago, and all of a sudden, they get signed, they get the sickness out there, they blow up. Now everyone's a fan, and it's not just rock, rap, all that shit. I remember when Kanye came out. Well, for one thing, people always loved him. I don't know why. I always kind of found him overrated, but that kind of thing. Just, you're a hater until all of a sudden they're up in the stratosphere, and it's like, oh, I want to cling on and sail with that star across the sky. It's really fucked.
It is a hard gig. It is a hard gig, but there are non-parents who judge parents for the way they are parenting. in public. Like there were times where my dad, so like he, well, where do I start this? So in Landmark Mall, when it was like booming and actually like a mall, um, my sister was terrified of escalators. Terrified. And it's super crowded. We're headed towards the escalator. My dad steps on, my sister stops. And my dad like turns around and grabs her by the arm and pulls her in. Like, God damn it, we're in a crowd. Like, don't
break
do
the
that.
motion. But I understand. I remember being really little and seeing those escalators. They could look a little less unapproachable. That's all I'm saying. It's just that steel, just
especially how steep the stairs are for a toddler. Like that's
and the point and the the grating jutting out like their teeth about to eat you.
And glow, all of that, right?
And you think it's gonna suck you when you get to the top of the Tom and Jerry cartoons?
Some dude like was basically like, I would never treat a child that way, and or you shouldn't treat a child that way, was his response. And he's like, Are you a father? No? Then shut the fuck up.
I remember that because I could play armchair parent all day, but I'm not qualified to really commentate on it because I have no kids. I don't know what the hell I would do if I were to wake up tomorrow and there'd be a kid there. I'd be like, okay, little human, I'm going to show you how to do this.
No one asked you. Yeah. Fucking happened all the time.
That's what I try to remember. People are just coming off of their own experiences and, going off of whatever experiences were taught from them. Some get it right, some don't. Some can learn, some can't. People are complicated and the brain did not come with a manual.
Yeah. Every kiddo is different. I thought I was a great parent. My first son was such a happy kid, so easy to raise, until I had a second kid. Yeah. The youngest was not a happy baby, and I thought I had no idea what I was doing. Of course, we learned later that he's autistic, has anxiety, ADHD.
Not only that, but like not every kid is going to repeat their parents. I wouldn't say like non-perfections, but okay, like my brother and his wife, they're a strict Southern family, Southern Baptist kind of doctrine in their family. And all 5 of their kids are down to earth, smart, friendly. And even the youngest one at 10's like, yeah, this is all bullshit, like in the middle of church. So, they're doing their own thing. Sometimes cycles can be broken on their own.
My mom says that while I had volume, my sister had pitch. Yeah. You are a great parent. Yeah, for real. I know it's past your nom time. Just realizing you need to adjust from child to child is huge. Yep.
That's just something.
Well, so my dad, my dad had this thing where he would, I learned how to ride a bike. I learned how to swim because I would start to do something and I would take a break because I was frustrated because I couldn't get it to work. I come into the house and my dad's like, "Oh, you're not right. I fucking hate quitters." And I didn't want my dad to fucking hate me. So I went back out and I learned how to ride my bike and I knew it by the end of the day. My sister, on the other hand, was like, well, my dad hates me.
You know,
I
that's the
would
point,
bend over
though.
backwards in my dad, but my sister, no way.
You got to treat people on an individual basis, and so many of us have the habit of just wanting to fucking label people and put them all in one box and want to treat them accordingly, and that's not how reality works, and that's how communication fails.
Mm-hmm. Except for last week. I got you. Oh, wow. I somehow made it to the end of the comments. Yeah, my upbringing was toxic for sure. I definitely have my daddy issues. But, like, my dad has made great strides in healing and managing his anger and realizing where anger comes from and I'm back. Woo!
Welcome back.
I ended up with a bad relationship with my father, but some of it was because he ended up with clinical depression. But before that happened, he was a good stay-at-home dad. Mom worked full-time. I got you. Welcome back. Welcome back. The right side of my tongue is... it's healing, but... I also want a third cup of coffee.
I had one big one. It was Cafe Bustelo because I ran out of my regular stuff.
I got you. But he's so much better in later years. Yeah. I will not be able to handle my dad's death. My parents claim my sister executor of the will. Like, should anything happen to my parents? And I was like, but I'm the oldest. Why didn't you come to me? And they were like, my sister came to me and she was like, if something happened to dad, how would you be? And I was like, okay, that's a good point. I would not be okay. I would probably check into a hospital. My daddy's a girl, for sure. I met my biological father at age 19. And then 19 later, I found him again. He hasn't reached out to me since. Well, there's a lot to be said for that.
I guess you can say I grew up with a very bad problem with authority. Both of my parents are type A personality firstborns, including my one older brother, so I definitely have some boundaries set up with people and control issues. And around those boundaries are razor wire and landmines. I don't like being told what to do.
Someone can do for you is to stay away. Yeah. It doesn't mean anything about you. Yeah. Sometimes it has nothing to do with you. Unfilled. Ooh. Lots of fun family dysfunction tales. Yeah. Don't we all?
Well, you can't have dysfunction without fun.
I'm proud of you too, Shannon. There is a saying on demand: if you weren't there for my struggle, you'd not be there for my success. Here, here. Oh my gosh. So I have a bracelet that says, you fucking got this, the inside. Or on the inside, there is a phrase, you fucking got this. And it was when I was writing my first book and publishing it. And my dad was so proud of me. He actually told me, and like he sent a card and a bracelet, a silver bracelet, and he actually said, he called me and was like, "I'm so proud of you, Pete." And that was 2020. That was the first time my father ever said he was proud of me.
Aw.
So I was like, oh my God, how do I act? Shame dies when we can only discuss our experiences. Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
Black Sheeps United. Yes.
Yes. Let's break the fence post.
Yeah, like it's a therapy group. This is how I feel when I'm in a live chat with fellow blind people. Yeah, I got you. It's like group therapy.
Well, it's kind of what I'm doing with my YouTube stuff. Get people talking. Everyone's so isolated and alone in their own heads.
Yeah, mom claims she's a black sheep. She's one out of 13 children. But I don't know how black a sheep she claims to be. If you weren't there for part of my life, you don't get an opinion about it. Yeah. That's my response to the attention-seeking comment. Yeah.
What's sister doing?
You do
with
what you
herself?
can. At 33, told her it wasn't right for her mother to call her daughter names, which is why I don't cuss. Wow. My dad used to threaten me a lot. And, like, I've basically forgiven him for that behavior. And I still process, like, the trauma and the issues that I have because of how he treated me as a child. Like, and my mom, But it's so surreal because it's like a complete 180 for my folks. My mom is not the cold person that she was when I was a kid. Like, she is now very warm and bubbly, which is not how she used to be, that's for sure. I make jokes that I was raised by a robot, but she's not a robot anymore. The cancer has changed her. And she's recovering wonderfully, by the way. She just had her checkup, and her blood is doing better than it has in years. So she's doing great. Woo! Yeah.
Somebody's hungry.
I'm glad you didn't see your worth. Two different sources of toxic. Yeah.
I know you're so hungry. Mwah.
Don't have a good relationship. She and my husband are my only constants. My children and grands make up the entire family. My eldest daughter is of the thinking of most of the rest of the biological family. So the relationship is strained. Yeah. I'm so sad sometimes not getting parents in my life. I won't go back to them. It's, and So I inspire my people to like to make change. And my husband, for instance, he was abusive and an abusive alcoholic, and I put up with it while I was unmedicated because I did a lot of gaslighting myself. Like, am I getting cold feet? Am I trying to self-sabotage this relationship? And then, but I kept a journal, and one night I read the journal from cover to cover, and I was like, I am in an abusive relationship. And then he crossed a line, and after 3 days, I was a total wreck over it. And I was like, we're not working. I'm going to leave for a week. Here is a list of shrinks that specialize in cases like yours. Here is a thing on agnostics, Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous for agnostics. Here is a thing for Buddhism, because you're a Buddhist, fucking act like it. And I'm leaving for a week. Bye. And all it was a change for him to at us. And I was expecting him to back out. I was not expecting him to pick me over the alcohol. But he made the changes, and he's no longer a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. He is now Prince Charming, and I was living like I was in PTSD land, and I was constantly in survival mode up until about 2 months ago. So I'm actually learning how to trust again. I'm actually learning how to give people the benefit of the doubt. It's really disorienting. Like I remember how my parents treated me. I remember the relationship I used to have with my sister. I remember my significant other being a total asshole, but they're not like that anymore. And I need to treat them like the person that they have become. But I'm gun-shy, like.
But the important thing is,
2 months ago, I still acted like I fly off the handle at any moment when there was no reason for me to think that he would do that.
but you're breaking cycles, both of you. And as Shannon said earlier, it can be traumatic, but sometimes it's for the best. That's the thing about life. You are under no obligation to be the person you were 5 minutes ago. You can change at any time. You can shift that energy. And yeah, I lost my train of thought there. With like trauma, stuff like that, it eventually takes good experiences and good people to get over the bad ones. And it's just at your own pace, at your own boundaries, getting out there into the world and experiencing that. But don't let anybody rush you, and do not rush yourself.
I know. Usually I feed him at 10 and at noon. So he's like, food? How about food?
Well, cats are so independent anyway. Shouldn't he be making his own food?
Conversation about my wedding. I'm sorry, say that again?
I said cats are so independent. Should be making his own food. That was a joke.
Wow. He's a quiet man, a few words, and he said, well, our nuclear family is the only family we need.
Yes.
husband's parents were estranged. My father has since passed away. I met his mother for the first time after our son was born. Pedophile, abuser, one who hated Americans. Oh, but I wanted more for my children. Yeah. I knew my father had changed when I could calmly tell him the whole hard truth about how he treated me. I haven't had that discussion with my dad yet, but like I have the policy where if someone extends an olive, like if they treat me like crap, but they come to realization of the horrors that they have committed and they want to fix it, they want to like make contact and be like civil about it. If they extend that olive branch, I have to take it. I have to give them that shot. And like more often than not, karma hits the people that wrong me. Like karma's got my back.
Feed me, mommy.
I know. Mwah. You want to go into the mic? You want to meow into the mic? Ah, cat hair. I don't think he cares anymore. Yeah. I met his father early in our relationship. I tried to like insert myself and have him fix things. I was in the wrong for sure. It didn't work out either. His father was awful. Yeah. You know, to respect everyone's wishes and walking that line. That's a spooky place to be. All right. Well, we are 1 hour and 58 minutes in, so we might as well wrap up. Oh, but the comments are so good. Yeah. Yay. Also ignore her. Bleh.
See, I have parents that live in realities where they're never wrong. Separately. That's why they didn't sit together. So yeah, growing up with that was fun. And to this day, still, they can't conceive of them ever having error. I don't know if it's some kind of mental compartmentalization, but yeah. Self-healing never ends, Eva.
Natalie, do you have a YouTube channel? Because I want to go to subscribe to you because you sound like an amazing person. She has a Amazon page with like 20 books on it.
People are connecting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my parents are never wrong, but they are coming to their own conclusions as to what is right and wrong. Like when I was a kid, it wasn't right and wrong. It was cause and effect. And
Now,
I became very aware of social contracts.
to be fair, I did inherit some of that. I'm also an Aries. but I am a lot better at checking myself and admitting I'm wrong. But it's sometimes a hard road getting there. Like, fine, you're right, fucker.
Mm-hmm.
I am who I am.
All right.
That's cool, though. I'm glad you did the stream.
Yeah. Go to the website. Check out Natalie's stuff. She's also a great writer and very prolific. Fun chats. Thank you all for joining me for this coffee morning.
Yeah, everybody came in opening up,
You
and
all
people
are doing
linking
your
up.
best. Keep it up. Doing the shadow work. Natalie's YouTube. Also just subscribed.
I would do the
Very
same
nice.
thing, Natalie. I got you.
Super nice. If you like this video at any point, I encourage you to hit the like button. And if you like these like Sunday morning coffee chats, like, you know, leave a comment below and actually say how you feel about these sort of talks. Excuse the notifications that are coming across my computer at the moment. Yay! You might want to ring that bell on the off chance YouTube actually notifies you when I go live. Yeah, now it's Twitter. Love the chat. Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing up the topic on bullying.
I was wondering who did that because I dipped off while I was getting my laptop ready.
Yeah, it started by Desi talking about her English, I wit. Talking about her talk regarding bullying. I appreciate, yeah.
Yeah, people, it shows people want to talk. They want to open up. Tear down the wall.
Thank you so much for hopping in, Shannon. Video series is going to be great. I'm going to keep an eye out for it. It's going to be awesome. All right, we will catch you guys on the flip side.
Stay hydrated.